Dit is Wessel Simons van Bitcoin Magazine. We zitten hier met Jedidiah Taylor van Decent.bet. Welcome.
Thank you.
Jedidiah. What is your first impression of this day, the day of the crypto here in Amsterdam, right?
Very impressed. So we've been to another conference. This is our second conference in the Netherlands. The first one was in Ada,
Yes.
which was a huge success, great turnout. This one actually is more people turned out for this one than even that conference. So very exciting, a lot of activity, a lot of energy, and very pleased so far.
Yeah. You do an international roadshow, you told me. So you came from Asia and then you landed here in Amsterdam, or what was the...
So most recently from London for the ICO London 2018 tour, same kind of circuit as this one. But prior to that, we were in Tokyo for about a month, where we did a series of conferences and meetups, and we spent a lot of time in Asia Pacific and Europe, as those are two of our larger markets, just due to the interest in online gaming.
Yeah, want online gambling. Can you show a picture? I mean, paint a picture how big this market is actually worldwide.
Yeah, absolutely. So in 2016, don't have the updated 2017 statistics yet, but 2016 it was just over $45 billion.
45 billion.
Yes,
okay.
And then by 2024, so 7 years, 6 years from now, it's expected to double to just under 100 billion.
Okay.
One other interesting thing about the market is it is shifting online when you look at gaming as a whole. And by 2020, the majority of gambling revenue will be online versus physical casinos.
Okay.
So we're positioned well in that regard.
So this is it can be a dead stake for Las Vegas in the end, maybe, or do you foresee the end of the physical casinos?
I don't think there'll ever be an end, because there's that experience of being inside the casino, but there's also the challenges with, you have to get on a plane, you have to travel to Las Vegas, there's a lot of expenses, you have to get a hotel, so it's not easy for somebody that doesn't live near Las Vegas to go and enjoy that sort of experience. So why online gaming will be popular is because you can do it from the comfort of your own home. It can never, to be honest, it can never replace the experience of being inside the casino. But as long as the revenue is shifting in the right direction, then we're very bullish on this space.
Okay. Maybe first personal. What is your background? I mean, were you an online gambler or were you a developer? What's your background?
So I was raised in Las Vegas, Nevada, renowned Las Vegas. So I've been in casinos from a very young age.
Okay.
My first experience with casinos was blackjack, was the game that intrigued me the most. And what I liked about it is I taught myself how to count cards. So one of the kind of old sayings is the house always wins.
True.
But when you can count cards, you can actually get the edge in your favor, where the percentages are actually, over time, you'll be the one that wins. So I was at a very young age always trying to figure out how to beat the casino. From there, I moved into poker, Texas Hold'em, and the thing that attracted me to that was, with poker, you decide when to put your money in the pot.
True.
So you can only put, I would only put my money in when I knew the odds were heavily in my favor. So again, trying to get that edge.
You were a professional poker?
I played professional poker for a few months, never big tournaments or famous or anything like that, but I did support myself playing poker full time.
Cool.
And then the final stage of my gambling experience was I created an online sports betting arbitrage system. Where we would wager over $7 million a month on sporting events, and we would bet on both sides of the game. And with arbitrage, we were able to guarantee positive returns throughout that, which ultimately led me to Costa Rica, where I worked directly with online sports books. So that was my gambling side. From there, I started working with a venture capitalist, a private equity firm out of New York, and I built a couple technology companies into multi-million dollars in revenue.
What kind of technology?
So a lot of it was, the first company was Caliber Technologies, which was heavily focused on office technology, so print management, automating a lot of the office ordering and fulfillment of supplies, things like this. The secondary company was Broadlook Technologies, which was focused on gathering lead data off of the internet. So it'd go through and scrape web pages trying to develop leads for companies. But we worked directly with like Salesforce.com, Microsoft Dynamics, which had huge technological kind of influences back into our business. So combining that gambling and that technology was a good fit into crypto to get into decent bet. But I was the CEO of Caliber Technologies at the age of 28. And then in broad look, I was the director of sales, ultimately vice president of sales in that company. So I've held multiple C-level roles in technology companies.
Cool. Sounds good. And how did you enroll in this crypto sphere, actually, cryptocurrency? I mean, were you a crypto trader or?
Started as a trader.
Yeah.
Yes, and then so with my background in venture capital and private equity, I was very familiar with Wall Street and IPOs, traditional IPOs. So through trading, I came across an ICO. And I was like, what an interesting concept where you can actually reach out to the community and almost like this Kickstarter funding of a new business idea. So I figured gaming with technology would be something special, special type of company, and to have the ability to bring in the community to raise funds and build a very special platform was appealing to me. But the business model is really around we give 100% of the profits back to the community. So I actually watched a video by Andreas Antonopoulos, who's a very famous Bitcoin influencer, in March of 2017. And what he went through was a worldwide economic crisis that was taking place at the time. So there's 20 national banks with 0 or negative interest rates. Netherlands has 0 interest rates. True. Japan as well, 0 interest rates.
That's why it's so popular, eh? I mean,
correct. Alternative forms of how to make your money work for you and see returns. So he's Greek. Andreas Antonopoulos is Greek. And his parents were heavily impacted by the economic crisis because Greece was actually experiencing negative interest rates. So they were older generation that had retired, and their whole plan of retirement kind of changed when you have this nest egg that's going to last you through the rest of your life, but that starts depreciating because the government failed you, and now the currency is actually losing value. You don't have the nest egg that you thought you had.
True.
What also happens when the currencies collapse is unemployment rates go through the roof. So there's two challenges there. There's where to store my wealth, because the negative interest rates don't allow me to store it in the traditional banking systems. But with the unemployment rates, it's how do I also create wealth? I felt Bitcoin solved the problem on how to store wealth, but I feel like the gap in solving the worldwide economic crisis was we needed to create a way that the average person could earn wealth as well. And so that's why I wanted to do the 100% Give Back program. Growing up in Las Vegas, I know how much casinos make. And I was like, if I could give that back to the community and allow them to create wealth, then that would be a way to impact people's lives.
Maybe you can explain this philosophy in a very simple example. I mean, of course, maybe first explain decent bet. What does it? I mean, it's a cryptocurrency, but maybe you can explain the blockchain model.
So it's an online casino and sportsbook built on the blockchain. And what the blockchain provides that traditional gaming doesn't is transparency. If you were to go into a physical casino, Las Vegas, like we spoke about, and put money into a slot machine, you have no idea if you have a realistic chance of winning or not. You could put 100 after 100 after 100 in and just lose. All of our odds will be publicly verifiable on the blockchain, creating this trust between casino and gambler that hasn't existed historically. They know that they have a fair chance of winning. So that's why
there's a fair chance of winning in your casino. Correct,
and those odds are published on the blockchain and verifiable by anyone.
What are the odds actually? I mean,
so there's a wide variety of games. When it comes to the sports book, it's a 5% fee or house take. The slot machines will be somewhere around 4 to 6%, which is highly competitive.
So you can bet on sport games when you're. You can bet in the...
Correct, So there's sports betting, slot machines, and a lottery. And then throughout the roadmap, we'll bring in more of the traditional games, the craps, the roulette, the blackjack.
Nice.
It will be a full-fledged casino with all your favorite casino games and sports betting events.
So it's actually a way to make the casino experience more transparent.
Exactly right. And to share it with the community. When you look at Las Vegas, excuse me, it's an opportunity that's been kind of exclusive to the globalist elites.
Yeah,
I mean, you cannot build a casino in Las Vegas without a lot of money.
Yeah.
And so for an extremely profitable industry and these huge barriers to entry, it was almost impossible for the average person to ever have that opportunity to own a portion of a casino and earn money like a casino does.
Yeah.
So it was the transparency as well as the ability to give back through the blockchain.
And what does it mean? 100% is for the house. I mean, we're part of that house. What does it, in practical sense, mean? If I'm a trader in decent bet, what do I get?
So you can, if you were just a traditional trader, then you wouldn't partake in the profit sharing. If you want to partake in the profit sharing, then it's called our Be the House model. Where you'd actually, essentially, it's somewhat like stake your coins over a 3-month period. So every year we have 4 sessions that are 3 months each. And a week before the session starts, all the investors have the opportunity to say, I want to participate in this program. If they do, they send the tokens to Decent.bet in exchange for house shares. Those house shares entitle them to a percentage of the profits. Whatever percent they contributed, if they were 5% of the total contribution, they would receive 5% of the profits back.
And there are a 3-month period, they are frozen, actually.
Correct. Which decreases circulating supply, adding value back to the investors.
Yeah. At this point, how many tokens are circulated? Just a few numbers?
Yeah, so circulating supply is around 145 million.
Oh, 145 million.
There's 18% of founder shares that are locked up for an entire year.
18%.
Yep. 2% are for marketing bounties and technological bug bounties. And then 10% is there to fund the house to make sure there's always enough bankroll for the casino to operate.
Yeah, for your online casino itself.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay, that sounds good. And the value of the token at this point was $0.25, huh?
25 USD, right around 2,500 to 3,000 sats.
Yeah, and it listed in a few exchanges like Cryptopia, Ether Delta,
and Yobit. Cryptopia, Ether Delta, and Yobit. Yes, and we have a few more exchanges coming online soon.
What Binance, for instance, or
we're working through the details of Binance. No timing yet or confirmation on that. But one of the ones that we expect to be online very soon would be HitBTC.
Oh, HitBTC.
Yes.
How does it actually work? Do you have to pay the exchanges, or how? I mean, as a company, do you have to pay? I mean,
yes, you do. So you pay a listing fee.
Yeah.
As well as you fill out an application. So you have to, first step is filling out the application and being approved to be on the exchange. And then once you're approved, then you provide the listing fee. Then the exchange has to set up your wallet on their side and do their back-end connectivity with the contracts, which takes a little bit of time. But as soon as that's finalized, then the coin is ultimately listed.
It's just a one-time fee. It's not there are no other fees related with these exchanges.
We haven't explored every exchange out there, but quite a few. From our experience, it's only this one-time upfront fee. We haven't heard of any ongoing or recurring fees up to this point.
What are your next milestones for 2018? I mean, if we look, I mean, it's quite a success also here in Holland to participate in the online casino. What are the next milestones?
Sure, so we're currently in testnet. Our technology exists and is functioning today. It's being tested by the community. Once we are finished with the testnet testing, that's really to ensure scalability of the technology, then we actually publish to mainnet, or production, and open the casino, which is scheduled for Q1 of this year by the end of March. And that's when we'll actually generate revenue, generate profits, and the profit sharing will take place, which we expect to have a very large impact into the coin value. because we'll be one of a select few cryptocurrency companies that actually generate revenue and profits. Most of them have roadmaps that take years to actually have a business up and running. We finished ICO in October, so in a very short period of time, we will have an online functioning business that generates profits.
And how does it make? How do you generate profit with this model? I mean, you have the circulating tokens, of course. You have 18% of the tokens are with the founders.
Yep.
How do you make profit?
Well, so the company makes profits through the gamblers.
Yeah,
obviously.
of course.
The founders, what we wanted to do is completely align our interests with the investors.
Oh, okay.
So we built a zero profit business model. So the only way that we make money is through increasing the value of the token.
Okay.
So we have to perform, we have to execute, or else we're not going to make money and end up on the good side of this thing. So if the investors don't do well, we don't do well. And to show that we weren't looking to do something that wasn't sustainable and stayed around for an extended period of time, we locked our tokens up for the first year, showing that not only do we have to perform, but we have to perform consistently over a year's time frame in order to see any sort of benefit from the company.
That sounds good. What are the plans? How do you see this blockchain space develop in the coming years? I mean, of course, you experienced also probably the .com area with the MySpaces and etc. In what phase of the blockchain space are we now, actually?
I think
early adopters still? Or?
Very early adopters. I don't know the exact percentage. I've looked at it months ago, but it's somewhere 2-3% of the total population actually owns cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
And then you look at some of the equations of relating cryptocurrency to Forex, and I believe the numbers are if Bitcoin particularly took even 1% of the Forex market, it'd be worth $100,000 a Bitcoin. Currently valued around $10,000, $12,000. It still has huge potential, even with that small 1% of market share from Forex.
You're very trustful of the Bitcoin, confident of the Bitcoin will grow in this year.
Yeah, I mean, it just makes sense. There's actual value that I see it add personally. We run an international business, and I do international transactions. If I was restricted to bank wires, then it would take 14 days for me to send money across the world. I'd get hit with 15 to 20% fees. With Bitcoin, I could send money in minutes. And for $5, send money clear across the world and make transactions that the traditional banking systems don't allow for. So when you look at the evolution of worldwide economy, we're becoming more and more borderless, where countries are interacting and exchanging goods and services across borders more frequently. So in order for that to happen and scale efficiently, for that evolution to continue, there has to be some sort of way to be more efficient with the sending and receiving of the money. And I believe that is Bitcoin.
Okay, last question. I mean, we all know that Donald Trump was active in Atlantic City, but also his own casinos, of course. Did he ever seek contact with you guys?
No. I'd love to receive that phone call one day just to get a good laugh, at the very least, and hear what he had to say about it. But U.S. has tight regulations when it comes to online gaming. So, we're based offshore. And we'll continue to be based offshore, actually potentially looking at moving our headquarters to Europe, even potentially here in the Netherlands.
Serious?
Over the near future.
You're now based in Puerto Rico or?
Panama.
Oh, Panama. Okay.
Yes.
Because of tax reasons.
Tax reasons, and it was just they're very accepting of Bitcoin, and it was kind of close enough to the States to where I could get offshore, have the tax benefits, which are extremely beneficial in Panama, and we wanted a government that wasn't too big that they wanted all the control over cryptocurrency, like some of the larger governments, United States, China, are beginning to tighten regulations.
Well, what are your experiences here in Holland? Is this a positive climate in Holland? that you experienced till so far?
Yeah, I believe it's very positive. You know, and going back to a little bit of our conversation earlier with the zero interest rates in the bank accounts, I feel that that naturally evokes curiosity or people seeking out other means of investments.
Yeah.
And cryptocurrency has just been so bullish over the last year. I mean, you look back to around January 2017, we were at around a $20 billion market cap.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Our high was over $800 billion market cap, currently over $500 billion.
Yeah.
To see that sort of gain over the course of the last 12 months is incredible. And in a place where you have zero interest rates, naturally people are going to hear that, pay attention to it. And that's why I believe I'm very bullish on the Netherlands and their adoption of cryptocurrency.
We have 400,000 people privately invested in cryptocurrencies. Do you expect the same bullish run in 2018? Last question.
I don't know if it'll be as bullish. There's going to be, I believe, some complications that get in the way. More regulations that are going to come into play, which the right regulations are a good thing.
Yeah.
If it prohibits the freedom that cryptocurrency provides and that the majority of us cryptocurrency believers love, is that freedom. So as long as the regulations protect investors, that's the biggest need right now, is protecting investors and making sure they're viable projects, not just any, project with a white paper and a roadmap that may or may not actually be a business one day. If they could control that to make sure that people were protected but not get overly involved to where it was restrictive and there was red tape everywhere, then that would be ideal. But I think the regulations are coming more and more regardless. And then as those regulations come in, it's going to be harder for exchanges to operate. So I think we're going to see a huge increase in decentralized exchanges.
Okay.
And it'll be interesting to see how the regulations, the exchanges, all of that kind of evolves. And hopefully more decentralization, not regulations that impose on our freedom but do protect investors. That would be ideal. But I think some of this evolution could slow it down a little bit. But we saw such crazy gains in 2017.
Yeah, it's
if we could do that again in 2018,
so
the whole world would have to watch out.
But of course. Are there any coins you're very enthusiastic about? I mean,
clearly my own, decent.
Of course. But
I love VenChain.
VenChain,
is I think a wonderful coin, wonderful use case. Actually really love AppCoin, which is a new coin that's come out that has real life utility. They have users in the traditional space that are ready to convert over. Yeah, AppCoin.
Okay.
And then Singularity, which is AI, artificial intelligence coin I've been looking a lot lately that I think has some potential and is fairly exciting.
And how do you, last question, how do you actually analyze these ICOs? I mean, a few or substantial are you can quote, it's like a scam, but how do you analyze these, if ICO has potential or not?
Yeah, well, there's two parts. Is it a scam, and then how much potential does it have?
Yeah.
I don't believe in uncapped ICOs.
Okay.
The purpose of an ICO is to create operating capital for you to execute your business model.
Yeah.
This is not an infinite amount.
No.
This is a budget and should be a very specific number.
Do you still exist, these uncapped ICOs?
They're becoming less and less common. Okay. But, I mean, in the middle of 2017, when ICOs were going crazy, we saw some companies raise over $200 million.
Yeah, and they don't know what to do with it.
How do you ever need that much money? So I love to see capped ICOs. Yeah. I love to see when ICOs whitelist addresses and put per person caps in place that allows more people to participate rather than, I don't like globalist elites or the rich getting richer and kind of the average staying average, those separation of classes, if you will.
Okay.
By capping people on a per person basis, you allow equal participation regardless of how financially wealthy you are. So that's another great sign.
You see it with WePower, very popular, but they had a personal cap of 0.2 Ether.
Yeah.
But they got a lot of criticism because their pre-ICO sale was fully sold, and then you had you see a trend that lots of pre-ICOs are very fancy
A
sold.
1,000,000%. And we didn't see that in the beginning of 2017. It was just uncapped ICOs. Now, maybe somewhat of a moral loophole that's taking place is let's do this pre-sale, raise what we want to raise, then make this fair ICO that allows us to have the best of both worlds. So we have all this angel investment that has no caps associated with it. Then we have this traditional ICO that has the caps in place and allows for participation. And maybe it's a happy medium because both people get to participate, average and wealthy. But it's interesting. The most important thing I would say is I like to see technology that exists. It's not just theoretical. I like to see technology that's ready to go. Average person use cases, utility to the token, not just creating a token to create a token, as well as technology. When the company invests or raises investment to build value prior to going to ICO and asking the public to participate, then they have something real and tangible. And I feel it's a more fair exchange of value. Because you're providing investment, but we've provided technology that has value back to you. So now I feel like we really exchanged something rather than just an idea, and you give us your money kind of thing. So I love to see that.
Sounds good. Thank you very much for your time and your words, and all the good luck.
Thank you so much. My pleasure. Appreciate you having me on.
Okay. Good luck.